This is a story that is making headlines across the country.
We want to make sure you're up to speed on everything there is to know about the investigation. Our team coverage continues tonight with Melissa Andrews and Brian Duggar. We start with Melissa, who has more on what the victims' family members had to say. Mel.
Well, to say the family of these children is devastated would be understating their grief. Raquel Smothers is the children's aunt and sister of their mother, Mariah. She sobbed and shook uncontrollably as she tried to describe the children, who they were, what happened, and the impact of Chidester's actions on Saturday. She said that the family should have been planning a birthday party for Zayn, who would be turning 5 next month. Instead, they are planning his and his sister Alanah's funerals. She talked about a day that turned from pure joy to utter devastation, a devastation that will never leave her memory.
They walked into that birthday party having a fun time. They were sitting at that table eating, and this woman crashed her car through this building, destroying all of our lives. Not just my family, everyone else that was in that building. My nephew and my sister are still fighting for their lives today. I had to be the one to tell my sister her babies were gone when they removed her ventilator yesterday. She said, "How am I supposed to live without my babies?"
Smothers also said that Chidester never should have been behind the wheel with or without a medical history, that no one should be drinking while on medication, let alone driving. And the results of those actions, she can never get out of her mind, seeing her niece and nephew under Chidester's car, an image she now sees every night when she tries to go to sleep. Kaylee?
Well, the family of the 2 children killed have filed a civil lawsuit against Marcella Chidester in a bar she was allegedly drinking at earlier in the day. According to the family's lawyer, the lawsuit was filed by Mariah Dodds and her son John, who are both still in the hospital. John Marco is representing the family. He says this is every family's worst nightmare.
They thought a bomb went off at first when this car came crashing through this child's birthday party. And the mother woke up in the hospital and she was severely injured and catastrophically injured. And the first thing she wanted to know is, how are my children doing?
Marco would not say how much the family is hoping to get from the lawsuit. He is planning to provide more details of the case during a news conference tomorrow morning.
My client has a history of having seizures, and this history has lasted since last November. It started of an epileptic type seizure in her legs. In fact, that's that day she was treated for it.
Well, it appears the defense is going to focus on Chidester's history of seizures, as you heard right there. But what does Michigan law indicate about driving with epilepsy? Lead investigator Brian Duggar joins us in the newsroom to discuss that side of it. Brian?
Yeah, Michigan law actually does address driving with epilepsy. In fact, it has pretty clear guidelines. So if you look at the Michigan Administrative Code, a person with epilepsy must prove that he or she had the condition under control for 6 months or has not had a seizure for at least 6 months. But that period can be reduced if a doctor agrees to reduce it. And the 6 months is important because Chidester's defense attorney said she's been having seizures since November, which was 5 months ago. But her attorney seemed to indicate in court that she'd been cleared to drive.
No doctor told her not to drive. The doctor told her not to drive for a number of months, very few months, and then she could operate a vehicle.
So here's another key point. Michigan law says that a doctor cannot be held civilly or criminally liable based on their recommendation. And one other note, we have not yet been able to confirm that Chidester even has an active driver's license, but we do know that she has no traffic tickets on her record. Reporting in studio, this is Brian Duggar for WTUL 11.